Everyone talks about building a dividend portfolio, but nobody ever shows you what it actually looks like when you start with just $10,000. Not the highlight reel, not 10 years later, the beginning, the real, honest, slightly underwhelming beginning. That's exactly what Jake wanted to find out. He had $10,000 sitting in his account and one simple question. Could he build a real income stream from this? Not someday, starting now with what he had. So he did something most people only think about. He actually built the portfolio, picked the stocks, tracked every payment, and watched what happened month after month. In this video, we're going to walk through exactly how Jake built his $10,000 dividend portfolio, how he chose each stock, what the income actually looks like coming in every month, and what happens when those early small payments get reinvested over time. And by the end, I'll show you how that same $10,000, without ever adding another dollar, is projected to grow into a nearly $490,000 portfolio that pays over $22,000 a year in dividends. But before we get to those numbers, you need to understand the one mindset shift Jake made before he bought a single stock, because without this, none of the rest of it works. Before Jake bought a single stock, he changed the way he looked at his money. He stopped asking how much this can grow and started asking what job can this money do. It sounds like a small change, but it made all the difference. Rather than checking prices every day or chasing performance, Jake focused on one thing: dividend income. A dividend is simply a company sharing part of its profits with you for holding its stock. When the company does well, you get paid. You're not selling anything. You're getting paid to own a piece of a real running business. Now, here's the part most people completely skip over, and this is where Jake made his most important decision. He decided he wouldn't spend a single dollar of those dividends, not in year 1, not in year 5. Every payment that came in went straight back to buying more shares. Most brokerages let you set this up automatically. It's called a DRIP, a dividend reinvestment plan. In the early months, the amounts feel almost laughably small, a few dollars here, a few dollars there, but Jake wasn't measuring success by the size of the payment. He was measuring it by the number of compounding shares building underneath him. Because here's what nobody tells you about compound growth. The early years feel like nothing, and then one day, they don't. Look, I want to be straight with you for a second. If you're hoping $10,000 replaces your paycheck next year, this isn't that. Anyone telling you otherwise is not being honest. Most people who invest $10,000 in dividend stocks like these will earn somewhere around $330 in the first year. That's about $27 a month. Some months closer to $25, some months closer to $31. You're not covering rent with that. You might cover your streaming subscriptions, maybe your phone bill, and I know what you're thinking. Jake, why should I care about $27 a month? Here's why. That same $10,000, never touched, just dividends reinvested, is projected to reach around $34,000 by year 10, approximately $125,000 by year 20, and close to $490,000 by year 30. The income follows. By year 30, that portfolio is generating roughly $22,000 per year in dividends. That's over $1,800 every single month from one initial $10,000 investment with nothing added. Now, contrast that with what most people actually do. They leave the money in a savings account earning barely 4%, or they try to time the market, or they just wait for a better time to invest that never really comes. And 10 years later, they're staring at the same number wondering why their money never worked for them. The difference isn't talent, it's structure, it's patience, and it starts with choosing the right companies. When Jake started choosing companies, he kept it simple. With only $10,000, every position had to earn its place. So he built a filter and stuck with it. First, he looked for stability, businesses that can make money in any market, not just when things are going well. Companies that sell essential products and services hold steady when the economy slows down. That's critical when you're relying on consistent income. Next, he checked dividend history, not just whether a company pays a dividend today, but whether it has a long track record of paying and raising that dividend over time. Consistency is a sign of financial discipline and real commitment to shareholders. He also watched the payout ratio, the percentage of profits paid out as dividends. Too high and the dividend becomes fragile. Jake focused on companies paying out below 60% of their earnings. That leaves room to keep paying you even through a rough year. Then diversification, no single sector carrying the full weight. If everything comes from one industry and that industry hits a wall, your whole income stream takes the hit. And finally, balance. Some positions providing strong income today, others with growing payouts that add strength over time. That combination is what makes a portfolio steady now and stronger in the future. With those filters in place, Jake divided $10,000 equally across 10 positions, $1,000 each. Simple. No stock gets to dominate the result. Every position pulls its own weight. He then organized them into 4 clear categories. Category 1, the anchor. Jake put $1,000 into SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, currently yielding around 3.4%. Instead of betting on one company, this ETF spreads your money across dozens of strong dividend payers at once. It's the foundation of the portfolio. Stability first. Category 2, blue chip dividend stocks. These are the core, 5 established companies with long track records of raising their dividends. NextEra Energy at 2.61% brings exposure to utility infrastructure and clean energy. Procter & Gamble at 3% delivers reliable income from consumer staples, the products people buy regardless of what the economy is doing. PepsiCo at 3.62% adds global brand strength and consistent cash flow from food and beverages. Black Hills Corp at 3.9% strengthens the utility income layer. And AbbVie at 3.4% adds healthcare exposure, backed by a growing pharmaceutical portfolio that has raised its dividend every single year since it became a public company. Category 3, real estate income. Realty income, yielding approximately 5.1%, is the standout here. What makes it different from every other position in this portfolio is that it pays monthly dividends, not quarterly. That one detail smooths out the income flow across the entire year and adds a meaningful yield boost to the overall portfolio. Category 4, growth-oriented dividend stocks. These 3 positions don't offer the highest yields today, but their payouts are growing. Nexstar Media Group at 3.66% brings media diversification backed by advertising revenue. Goldman Sachs at 2% adds financial sector exposure with institutional-grade investment banking strength. And Lowe's at 1.94% is a quiet long-term compounder, a dividend grower with 54 consecutive increases tied to the ongoing demand in home improvement and housing. 4 categories, 10 positions, $1,000 each. That's the whole system. Now here's where it gets concrete, because I don't want to give you vague annual numbers. I want to show you how the money actually flows in throughout the year. Most stocks pay quarterly. Realty income is the exception. It pays every month. So every month in this portfolio starts with a $4 base from realty income, and then each quarter adds a new layer on top. In January, April, July, and October, realty income pays its $4 monthly dividend. Procter & Gamble adds about $8, AbbVie contributes roughly $9, Lowe's brings in approximately $5. These months total around $26. In February, May, August, and November, realty income again pays $4. NextEra Energy adds about $7. Black Hills Corp contributes around $10. Goldman Sachs provides roughly $5. These months come to approximately $26. In March, June, September, and December, realty income still pays its $4, but now SCHD kicks in at about $9. PepsiCo adds around $9, and Nexstar Media Group contributes roughly $9. These are the strongest months, totaling approximately $31. When you add it all up, the portfolio generates around $330 in total dividend income in year 1. That averages out to roughly $27 a month. Some months land at $26, some at $31, but the overall flow stays consistent and predictable. For Jake, this doesn't replace his paycheck, but it does produce real money showing up on a schedule every single month, and every dollar of it goes right back to work. Here's where the numbers start doing something genuinely interesting. In year 1, the portfolio is worth roughly $11,000 and generating about $330 in annual income. By year 10, the projected annual dividend income grows to around $1,050. Portfolio value approximately $34,000. Not life-changing yet, but more than triple the starting income without adding a single dollar. By year 20, the annual dividend income climbs to roughly $5,200, portfolio value around $125,000. At this point, the income is meaningful. It could cover a car payment every month, most of a utility bill, or a decent chunk of groceries. And then year 30. Annual dividend income approximately $22,500. That's over $1,875 per month every month without selling a single share. Portfolio value close to $490,000. What started as $330 in year 1 has multiplied more than 68 times over. And importantly, most of that growth doesn't happen in the early years. It builds in the back half once the compounding snowball is fully rolling. Before you go build your own version of this, a few things Jake learned that you don't have to find out the hard way. Don't chase high yields. A stock offering a 10% or 12% dividend yield looks incredible on paper, but a very high yield is usually a warning sign. It often means the stock price has fallen sharply because the company is in trouble. Jake filters out anything that looks too good to be true. Sustainable income beats flashy income every time. Watch the payout ratio. If a company is paying out 85%, 90% of its profits as dividends, there's almost no cushion for a rough quarter. That dividend is one bad earnings report away from getting cut. Staying below 60% is where the safety lives. Don't over-concentrate in one sector. If all your income comes from utilities and utilities take a hit, your whole cash flow takes the hit with it. Spreading across healthcare, consumer staples, financials, real estate, and energy is what makes this portfolio resilient across different economic conditions. Here's the bottom line. Jake started with $10,000. He built a simple 10-position portfolio across 4 categories. He reinvested every dividend. He never added a dollar. He never panicked. He never traded. And the math does something most people never give it the chance to do. It compounds. $330 in year 1, $1,050 by year 10, $5,200 by year 20, $22,500 by year 30. That's not a get-rich-quick story, it's a get-rich-right story. The hardest part isn't building the portfolio. The hardest part is trusting the system when the early numbers feel small. But now you know, the small numbers aren't the end of the story. They're just the beginning of it. And if this video made something click for you, subscribe. New content every week designed to actually move the needle. I'll see you in the next one.